Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Good afternoon, happy Friday, and good evening to those across the pond. Welcome to Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network. I'm Jennifer Rose and happy to be here with all of you here today. I know so many of you are very excited to have medium Niko coming on. We're going to be talking all about trance, and he's going to give us a trance demonstration so I know it's very, very exciting show we have planned for you. So thank you all for joining us as well. Want to say hi to everybody. Hello, Miss Heidi from Colorado. Good to see you, beautiful. How are you, my gorgeous friend? I saw the beautiful Nancy Muratales here. She's part of Team Angel from For the Love of Spirit, and she hosts Fashionably Spiritual with me as well. So thank you, gorgeous, for being here. Hi, Miss Evelyn. How are you doing, beautiful? You're in the hospital. Well, we are sending you love and healing, and everything's going to go perfect and beautiful there for you. So big hugs to you, Evelyn. Hi, Rish. Thanks for being here today. Great to see you. Very happy you're here. Takata Ishmer. Oh, hello. Aloha. Is this Miss Vivian? Hello. Aloha, my dear. How's Hawaii treating you? I hope the weather is perfect and beautiful and you've had a chance to get to the ocean. So great you're here. Miss Fran Pierce is here. Hello, Fran. How are you, Fairy Queen? Now, my friends, everybody, Fairy Fran, the Fairy Queen, and Shannon Rate, the Angel Messenger, will be joining me tomorrow for Messages from the Enchanted Realms. It's slightly earlier, just a half an hour at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. in the UK. You don't want to miss it. Angels and fairies and dragons, oh my, and of course, loved ones are always welcome, and whoever would like to come from the beautiful realms of spirit. We have a wonderful time. It's uplifting, enlightening, and lots of fun. So please join us, especially if you're looking for a little mood boost. Hello, Miss Lynn Juno. How are you, my dear friend? Next Friday, Lynn Juno has her show Kaleidoscope of the Soul, and she does her ribbon reading. She's amazing. So it's fascinating. So thanks for being here to support us today, Miss Lynn. Hello, Jeffrey. How are you, my good friend? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here today. And I saw Charlene Shaz is here too. Hello, Charlene. Thanks for being here. Miss Jennifer McCormick is here too. Hi, beautiful. How are you? Hi, Dawn. Yay. Yes, I know. Me too. We're so excited for Niko. Everybody's super excited here today. Michelle Dion, hello. How are you, my queen? Hello, my friend. Thanks for being here, beautiful Michelle. And Elaine Staten, hello. Elaine was just on with Kelly this week talking about mediumship, so you can go back and watch the replay. She's a fabulous medium from the UK as well, just amazing. And we're so happy you're here too, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see Ava Bergstrom is just joining us. Hello, beautiful Ava. Thanks for being here with us today, bringing all of your sunshine. So happy that you're here. And have I gotten all caught up? I think so. So a couple quick announcements, my beautiful friends. Later on at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 1 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. in the UK, forgive me, Michael Christopher and Jennifer Lee will be on hosting Spiritually Imperfect. Don't want to miss that. So it'll just be a little short break, get some dinner, get some fresh air, and then come back on and join us. Hi, Jess. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being here today. And then tomorrow, once again, is Messages from the Enchanted Realms at 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. in the UK with Fran Pierce and Shannon Rate. And it's a lot of fun. Don't want to miss that as well. And please join us on Sunday for the Love of Spirit, Sunday Spiritual Service. I have medium Tracy Peffer joining us as our guest medium. This is a spiritual service, and we have inspiration, poetry, mediumship, healing, music, and lots of love. So if you're looking to be immersed in a space that is a loving family, that would be the place to be as well. And you can sign up at mediumjenniferrose.com. Just click on the event. It's a name and an email, and you will be all set to go from there. So we hope you can join us. That is at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. in the UK this Sunday. So lots more fun tomorrow and on Sunday. It's a weekend of summer fun and spirit all together. So hope you can join us for all of those shows as well. Want to say hi to KB, who's just joined us. Lots of love to you as well. Thank you for being here. And just make sure I've gotten everybody. I hope I do. Really quick too, I just want to check in and see how are you all doing with this full moon. It's been a bit of a doozy. The energy has been pretty intense, and I wanted to share really quick a little bit about kind of what I've been seeing and experiencing and hearing from other people. I had a couple really interesting visions earlier this week when I was connected with spirit. One was they were showing me a bunch of clocks, and they were just all spinning, like endlessly too. And I was also very aware that the conception of time is a bit distorted for people. So people are like, it seems like forever since I've seen you, but it was just a couple days ago. So time is feeling very off for people as well. I've also noticed that Spirit has been giving, they showed me basically, hi Jack, thanks for being here today. Spirit also showed me that they were removing overlays, which is basically like parts of personality. And this was really interesting. So you may feel like not quite the same as you did, say, a few days ago. So that means the higher self or the soul of you has decided we don't need to be exploring this facet of self anymore right now, or we're ready to release this old version of it. Or this thing that we've been focusing on and putting a lot of interest on may not seem as interesting as much anymore because the soul of you, the higher self of you, has decided to move in a little different route. So that may whack-a-doodle, but staying grounded. I know, Evelyn, right? So the energies have been pretty chaotic, can be kind of a word, but what I'm hearing is a couple of things. It's going to stay that way for a while. So it's really going to be continual shifts in the energy, continual surprises. Basically, keep expecting the unexpected. That doesn't mean it's bad, though. It just means we have to stay kind of like grounded and open to whatever is showing up. There are many fortunate aspects to this as well. So if good things are just kind of dropping in your lap, that's a good thing. Accept it, receive it. Hallelujah. Gratitude. There we go. Go Spirit. So wanted to just kind of check in with you and hope that you're all, hanging in there too. We've just had a full moon too. So if you've been feeling a lot of emotions coming up, that's normal too. I've had a lot of reports of people feeling emotions that they haven't experienced in a while coming up to the surface to be released. So that's normal too. Just lean into it, be with it, let it happen, let it move, and you'll feel much better afterwards too. Okay, yeah. So Lynn, you're picking up on the time. Yeah, it's weird. It's just gonna get weirder. That's the word I keep. It's just gonna get weirder. So just roll with the punches, everybody. All you can do is laugh at some point. It's just like it gets to be very comical what the cosmic forces do. So anyways, too. So yeah, thanks for sharing. It is a wow. I know, right? And KB, soft energy, but intense, big internal shifts. Yeah. That's pretty appropriate for what I'm picking up on too. Jennifer as well, very intense. And tiring, timing feels off, so hot here, which isn't helping. Yeah, when the weather is like that too, it kind of exacerbates that feeling as well. KB, also the time distortions. Yeah, that's been a thing. So let's all hang in there together, folks. So with that, thank you again, everybody who's here with us today. We have a beautiful show and hour planned here too. I'm very excited to bring Niko on. And so let's roll with it. And I want to make sure I pronounce Niko Kapoutsos. I hope I've said that right. Let's bring you in and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Please, everybody, let's welcome medium Niko Kapoutsos to Embracing Infinity. Hello, my friend.
Hello, and thank you for having me. Niko Medium is fine. It's
Niko
easier
Medium.
that way.
In the back of my head, I'm like, I didn't ask him how to pronounce that when we were backstage.
It's all good. I just use that as an author. Niko Medium is everything else.
Niko Medium, got it. Thank you
That's
for
it.
being with us here today. Thank you for your time and your love and your presence and your sharing your gifts with all of us here today. We're all quite excited and embracing you fully here today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege. It's not a gift, though. We all have the same abilities.
This is true. We're all gifted with abilities.
We're all essence. We're all
We
spirit.
are all essence. You're right. And we can all be a medium. We're all psychic. We're all intuitive because we are all spirit. So you're absolutely right. And this is why, hi, Mort. This is why I'm also very excited to have you with us because I have read, almost finished with your book as well, which is just full of wonderful things about it too. And I realize that you and I are quite in alignment with how we perceive spirit and trance. So it's nice to be able to share this space with you, share minds and hearts here today with you. So again, thank you. And you're joining us from Greece, correct?
I am on a beautiful Greek island. Pity me.
Wow.
Yeah, it is very refreshing when you can speak the same language as somebody. So I resonate with what you're saying. It's just effortless to communicate like that. And it's just the way I look at it, it's just that it's a remembrance, and we just unlock the specific door that this remembrance comes back, and others may unlock it tomorrow or next month or weeks from now, whatever. But it's all a remembrance.
Exactly. It's all a remembrance. Well said. Really quick, I'm going to read to everybody a little bit about you, and then we'll go ahead and dive in. Does that sound okay?
This is always the embarrassing part. Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
That's okay. We all go through it. All right. Medium Niko is a trance. You got me laughing. We were having fun backstage, Niko and Kelly and I. So we're still in the laughter here. That's good, though. It's good vibration for spirit. All right. Medium Niko is a trance and evidential medium, mentor, and author of the Threads of Infinity trilogy. His work centers on the profound relationship between trance, higher self, and spirit communication, guiding others to awaken not just their gifts, but to the deeper truth of who they are. Through decades of experience and firsthand transmissions, Niko supports others in reconnecting with the innate wisdom that lives within, reminding us that trance is not a display, but a sacred unfolding between the consciousness and spirit. His latest book, Trance Mediumship and the Higher Self, The Ultimate Truth, is a powerful exploration of surrender, remembrance, and what it truly means to serve as a vessel for love, truth, and healing. Niko offers courses on trance mediumship for beginners as well as intermediate levels. He also offers courses on trance evidential mediumship, cosmic trance, and how to meet your spirit guides. In addition to courses, he also provides private lessons to accommodate scheduling conflicts as well as private one-to-one trance readings, where you experience a private trance session in order to receive guidance from the spirit realm as well as ask your questions. That's wonderful. I know you did it.
That's a mouthful. You know, it's funny because being the vessel for spirit, all of this correlates. It's just, okay, you open up one door for them to be the vessel, and they're like, okay, while we have you, we're going to have you teach this course. We're going to have you write this book. We're going to have you do this. So I don't mind doing it as a vessel for spirit. It's when the focus is on me as a human, it feels very uncomfortable. Oh, God.
I know. Isn't it fun to be you, though?
Yeah.
Your higher self is having a lot of fun being Niko.
Yeah, because they know I'm squirming right now. I'm just hearing that, but it's okay. It's all good.
I know. Well, nothing bothers them, so they can just have fun with all of this. Hi, Arnie. Hi, Dana. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's dive in, my friend, too. One thing that I especially loved about your book, and because I've been saying it all along too, is that trance is normal. It's absolutely a normal, everyday part of life. We've been doing it all along and not realizing it. There's nothing unusual or strange or, bizarre about it. It's absolutely part of being a spiritual human.
100%. I mean, very simple. How many times have we driven a familiar road to go to a house, arrived there, and have no recollection of the journey? It's just it's the mind. Our mind is constantly distorting what's happening with spirit, but we are spirit, and because our mind is so preoccupied, we're multitasking, we're worrying, we're complaining, we're grieving, we're crying, we're blinded by it. But when our mind is relaxed, when it's not as focused, the connection is there. We're not reaching it, it's there, and it kind of seeps into our awareness. Trance. The best part, I like to say this all the time in classes, when you go to sleep, what is that? That's trance. That's exactly what trance is. Trance is the conscious mind resting and the subconscious mind pulling you into the intuitive mind, and that's trance. But
daydreaming,
deja vu,
daydreaming.
absolutely. But we've been so programmed to fear trance, but nobody asks, why did they instill the fear in the first place? So when you start looking into it and researching, you realize that trance was the purest form of connection and still is the spirit. And that's how civilizations connected. That's how they received wisdom. That's how they were led and guided to create the pyramids of Giza and everything else that we can't really explain. Because that's connection with spirit. That's connection with multidimensional beings. That's connection to the universe as one. So when those who wanted to seek power, religious institutions, governmental agencies, they had to stop this, so they instill fear. The illusionary truth effect, if 1,000 people told you to fear trance, after the 10th one, you're like, well, I better fear it. They're all saying it. And the more they say it, the more you start fearing it. That's the trick. That's what they've been doing for centuries.
Yeah. And we go into trance when we're, immersed in music or in creating something, creating music or creating art, or just, in our flow when, we're dancing, when we're singing, we're in an altered state. We don't feel like ourselves anymore too.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we switch personas to based on who we're interacting with and where we're going, we've still moved into an altered state because we may be slightly different from our core self in that moment too, and it's like, so I don't think people realize how natural it is. And when you take that, it has to be hard, out of the equation, then people who are developing their trance, like beginners and students, they actually can do it quite naturally, and it's like, no, you absolutely can do it. And they surprise themselves because they think it's supposed to be hard. They're like, oh, I did it. You did. You did.
Yeah. The core teaching, the core foundation of trance or evidential or any mode of communication with spirit is to understand you are an energetic essence. Your auric field is your essence. I used to believe that my soul is in my body, but it's not. It's my auric field. That's my soul. That's my essence. And the breath anchors spirit to physical. The breath is the anchor point through the heart, through the love, through the center. That's how this whole formula works. So when I teach courses or speak about trance, it's the subtlety of just relaxing the mind and feeling the presence. Because energy to energy, essence to essence, is like wind to wind. They can't connect to your physical form. They can't connect to your brain. They connect to your auric field. They connect to your essence. And the more we relax the mind from doubting and seeking proof and disrupting the flow, immediately you feel the essence. Immediately. And that's when people start freaking out, like, oh my God, I really felt it. Oh my God. So that's the remembrance process. And I love watching that. I love seeing their face. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
The tears and the love that they feel too. And it's quite amazing. And I know one of the fears is because the hardest thing with trance is when you're developing is letting go and letting that blending happen, because people don't quite, I think, understand like what's really happening, and they're not going in your body. from what I've understood, it's more of an awareness that's blending. The awarenesses are blending together, and then it drops into your perception of what you're feeling as well emotionally when it touches into your essence as well too. But because it can feel really intense, what would you suggest for students when they feel that intensity of the blending so that they can, like keep letting go with that?
Okay, here's my human story. I was first an evidential medium, and one very instrumental medium. If you read the book, I'm not going to give a spoiler alert. I'm just teasing. She's a good friend, and she really was instrumental with guiding me into the trance groups. That's how I got into trance. And I was very sensitive to spirit from a little boy. And when I first got into this group, I figured I'm a medium. I don't fear spirit. Hey, Colin, I don't fear spirit. I trust. I'm fine. Trance would come natural to me. Now, what they teach you in all trance circles is you always have control. All you need to do is open your eyes, and your consciousness is back in the body, back in your room, back in the computer. But what they don't tell you is that the energy you feel still stays. So my first time in this trance circle, I just felt this rush of energy just kind of like overpower me. If it came subtly, slowly, I might have responded differently. But because it came so fast, that's why I became human. Every horror movie, every teaching, every possession that I've ever learned came flooding back to my mind. I was making silent deals with God, saying, please, please, please get me out of this. I won't do it again. I was drinking water. I was freaking out. That's where the human mind is. That's the conditioning of all we've been learned, or we've been taught, all the scary movies that we've watched, learnings. The fear that was instilled for centuries is still around. That's the immediate reaction. But the beautiful part of trance is that they are not touching your body. They're not entering your body. So people tell you you can be possessed. That's not true at all. You feel the sensation. If I was to walk up behind you right now and I was tiptoeing, your essence brushes against mine. You're already alert. You turn around and you see me. That's why you really can't, nobody can really pop up behind you, because your auric field is like antennas. They sense everything. Same with spirit. When spirit blends in this auric field, in this chamber that I call it, you become very, very aware of it. The sensations you receive on your body, that's your mind's interpretation of what that is. So my mind, my brain, my whole life is used to my auric field, let's say, expanded 8 to 9 inches over my body. So it kind of adjusts to this. It adjusts to my field, my energy field. When spirit blends, when you're in evidential or trance, that auric field expands tenfold. Your body's freaking out. Your mind's freaking out. What is that? So it alerts your body, like, in defense mode. So you'll receive a chill up your arm, or hairs behind your neck, or a pressure, or heat, or cold. It doesn't mean anything. And that's what people start fearing, because when a different sensation arises, that's where they freak out, because the mind is freaking out.
Right.
But if they understand the process, I'm sorry?
They're not used to the energy. They're not used to that, the intensity of the energy too. And I also see that it's very easy for people to kind of hold their breath and do that. So that's why you have to keep letting go and releasing. And then eventually you get used to it. It doesn't even really affect you anymore. You're just it's like it's like secondhand.
The breathing is key. And a lot of people don't really focus on that. The breathing, because it is the anchor from spirit to form, it does both. The deep breathing and sustaining the breath calms the nervous system, calms the mind, calms the body. It allows you to be a stable vessel for spirit. The breathing, deep breath, and consistency and sustaining that keeps you connected to spirit. So what's happening is that you're projecting this clear passageway of a channel. That's what they say, channeling, of a channel and a vessel, so spirit can blend with your essence. And because your breath is your energy and your essence is your energy, they utilize the breath to speak. As we utilize the breath to speak, they're utilizing your energy, your channel, your vessel, and they're bringing in their awareness, their intellect, their guidance, their messages, blending with you. And when I tell my students all the time, don't try to be the star of a production, that they're all stars. Don't overstate or upstage anybody. Your role is your spirit, not you in physical form, not your mind, your ego, your status, or how they're going to perceive you. It's not about that. Be the vessel, because your spirit essence is who's collaborating in this beautiful sacred collaboration of love. That's what's coming through the body. And if we understand that, everybody, every single person in physical form can do trance and is meant to do trance. So I really believe in the next 5 years, you're going to see a spike in trance mediumship. Within 10 years, it'll be mainstream, just as mainstream as evidential. I believe that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's also, I said that the other day in the class that it's not about the actual transmission. Like even later, when I bring through my guides and the transmission, it's wonderful for all of you because you're on the receiving end of direct guidance and having your questions answered, and it's fantastic for you on your journey. But me as the medium, I'm traveling in a whole different dimension, another reality. I'm connecting with multidimensional beings, other guides, other parallel versions of myself. So when I come back from trance, it's really transformative. All these little seeds are planted in my memory, trying to make sense. Are they my thoughts? Are they new thoughts? Are they remembrances? So there's so much happening for the medium. And I encourage so many people, do trance. But read the book. Let that explain to you about trance. Try it yourself. Don't be afraid, because that's the transformation is through trance. That's why it was silent for so long. And it's coming back. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Trance will help your mediumship. Trance will help your healing. It will help your own. I mean, it gives you autonomy and independence, because you can access the wisdom all by yourself too. And that's probably why it has been suppressed too. Evelyn had a question. Would you describe it as sharing space? That feels good to me. That feels lovely. Like when spirit comes in and does the blending, would you describe it as sharing space?
Yeah. Your auric field, your essence, this is what they're connecting to. So that's why as it expands, that's why you feel the sensations. But the sharing space part, in my definition of that, that's when they're sharing the love. So when they're blending with you, they're bringing in this immense, powerful, unconditional love that just fills your heart, fills your being. I'm just speaking about it right now, and I can feel it. It's like whenever I speak about it in honor, I just feel them all right now. I love you too. I love you. Like they hug me. You're our guy. I love you. And that's sharing space. You share the love, unfiltered.
Absolutely. They're being very kind, because it's very easy when that energy comes in and it gets intense, for me to start not, doing this, because it's so easy for me to get. So I'm like, thank you and I'm like, I am the hostess, so please don't don't do that too much today.
I know.
But and that kind of gives me a segue. A couple other questions too is, when we're doing mental mediumship, it's very active when we sit in there and open up our essence and our energy to kind of be receptive to spirit world, loved ones, and guides coming in too. I have found trance to feel quite different, to where we don't have to be kind of going out as much as they come to you. They kind of start to subdue the energy. They change the frequency. So it makes it easier for us to actually move our own awareness aside so that they can do their thing, which actually to me makes it a little bit easier, because it's like, oh, you just have to let that happen. Did that make sense? It kind of feels like a heavier, more velvety energy, not quite as bubbly as active mental mediumship.
As an evidential mediumship, I understand what you're saying. That's just because the mind is still very much present in evidential, and the mind is not in trance. But technically, it's the same exact process, all of it. So even with evidential now, whenever I offer evidential demonstrations, or the Thursday weekly group is an evidential circle, developmental, all levels of welcome. Every one of them comes out to be a trance evidential. So I don't stay in the alpha state. I stay in the theta alpha. I vary between the two just until I lock in my sitter, and then I just drop in the theta. So it's the same feeling, the same velvety feeling. It's the same thing. But a lot of evidential mediums, they do not do trance. They're still afraid of it, so they stay within the beta and the alpha state. So then I'm really going that fast, that far down. That's why it's very much in the mind. And that's just
Yeah.
how we're taught it. That's why it's the process we were taught in this world, how to connect with spirit. But trance teaches you a different way about the truth, that you are connected.
Yeah.
It is there. They're not coming to us. We're not going to them. It's already present. It's happening 24 hours a day. But think about it. Can you actually stay focused on spirit 24 hours a day? You can't, because you're in the physical world, but it's there 24 hours a day.
I'm there a lot of the time. I'm there many hours of the day.
I know.
Yeah, I
know.
kind of waffle. I waffle in the States because I'll be doing evidential mediumship, and I am kind of in like what you were saying, the alpha. But then I come in as, I come in and I start getting like really into it too, because I'm very easy to let them blend with me, because the more I blend with spirit, the more I can feel them. So I go a little bit in and out of those different places too. So, but that's fascinating. I love how you explain that too.
Thank you. If we could go to Jess, because Jess asked me a question.
Do we need somebody to pull you out?
Now, this is a great question, because a lot of my students, whenever they come to the courses, they say the same thing. Listen, I'm not going to bash any teachers. I respect everybody for being of service to spirit. But sometimes, and I've heard this from other people, not everybody can be a trance medium. You must be very careful. Don't do it by yourself. Guys, don't listen to anybody that says trance is harmful or dangerous. Understand first who you're connecting with. All right. And I love this metaphor I give out all the time. There's a funnel of consciousness. Okay. Your heartbeat, your breath, your essence is not only yours, it's connected to your higher self in the spirit realm. So imagine your breath is the higher self's breath. It's one breath. It's one energy. Okay, that's why the breath appears after the body's born. It doesn't appear in the womb. The lungs have fluid, the brain activity, even the heart's beating, but there's no breath. That's when your higher self claims this body. Okay, this is mine. And that's a shared breath, a shared energetic signature, a shared connection of energy, of resonance to the spirit realm. So you're always connected. So if that's the connection, look at it this way. Your higher self is the widest part of this funnel, which is the portal to the spirit realm. So your higher self is the guardian. Nobody comes in unless it's good, loving, and for your highest good. You are the one attached to this physical form. So you're the guardian of the physical form. So if you and your higher self, the same breath, the same source of energy, are the two guardians, why would you need somebody to help you come out of trance? Why would you fear it? See, but people that teach trance, that speak about trance, are still afraid of trance, because they think it's somewhere you're going, a destination you're going to, and they're afraid of coming back. But it's not a destination. As long as you're breathing, that passageway is always open. It's always active. So every breath you take, this funnel of consciousness is vibrating with each breath, each heartbeat that's happening. And then if you really want to figure out the details of it in a visual, your breath within this funnel of consciousness is like a main stream or an umbilical cord or a pipe, however you want to view it, that connects physical to spiritual. So when your spirit team comes into this beautiful blend and you feel a lot of energies, only one's going to speak through you, right? Maybe they pop in and out, but only one actually has intertwined around this umbilical cord of the breath and is sharing the breath in the space of the mouth to speak, and others are around. Same exact safe chamber or funnel that you and your higher self are the guardians. The difference between evidential and trance is because, again, we perceive we are reaching out to the spirit realm and they're coming in. And again, another destination. But that's the question. Thank you. I was looking for it. But what happens is that your higher self now, we're going to open up a Zoom room. There's 15 of us. All higher selves already connected immediately. So Jennifer's lost loved one that wants to come and speak to Jennifer is going to go to her higher self. Her higher self is going to talk to my higher self and say, hey, can we bring in Jennifer's friend Bob? No problem. Bring him in. Whatever they're doing up there is their business. But what happens is that in this funnel, when our spirit team is allowed access, so too is that spirit connector, the lost loved one of somebody. Your spirit team harmonizes this beautiful field. Make sure that all energy has to merge and equate to the level of your higher self, because that energetic vibration is displayed in you and this body. So they do all this work, merging it, energizing it, making it a beautiful blend. So now what happens is they're focusing your awareness to the energy of the lost loved one. This is where it's accurate. This is where, when you trust enough and allow it and not be afraid, that lost loved one now, with the assistance of your spirit team, they intertwine with your breath, that umbilical cord, and they speak. None of it is terrifying. None of it is frightening. It's love. It's incredible. What's frightening is coming back and living in this world. That sucks. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, that's weird. Jess, I've been like, yes, the whole time. I must have muted to get a drink of water there. But Jess was saying she was told that you may never want to come out because it feels so awesome. But the power will lift, and you're just going to wake up and you're going to go, oh, what a nice little nap.
Yeah. And, I wrote about that in my book, that's the worst part, is coming back. It's coming back, because I just wrote about that in this third book that I'm writing. The way I describe it is like a helicopter trying to land in wind. You could feel the dense pad underneath you. You're coming from the sky, and you've got to come down back to be human, to discuss what you're learning, discuss their process, what's going on behind it, explain the energetic flow, explain the love, so that the world changes. But I've told my team at least 10 times already, guys, I'm ready. Take me tonight. Let's go back there. I'm good. Let's go. Bags are packed. And they're like, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be 110 years old. Stay there.
I know. Once you work for God, you're employed. You never get released.
Exactly.
It's like I even like, Big G. I affectionately would call God Big G, and it's like, even you took a day off, right? Like you don't let us rest. Oh my gosh, just medium. So I'm being silly. I'm being funny. But a couple of things I also wanted to ask too is, so what was your progression like? So for me, like I started probably about 9 years ago, and I slowly progressed practicing and going to circles and practicing at home and things like that. But I had a big jump like in 2020 when I had a much more advanced awakening, and I had a health issue, and those combined, like my trance went from here like to here. And so it seems like when there's big life momentous moments and big spiritual awakenings, and that can really like create a big jump and an opening. Was it like that for you, or was yours a little bit more gradual?
Yeah, there was a lot of moments. This is also in the book that's on the banner under that I wrote.
Yeah,
it explains a lot about my journey as well. I actually this incredible spirit team that works with me now in trance, they visited me when I was a kid, 5, 6 years old, 7, whatever that was. I think it was 6. They came in as a visitation, as a vision, just right through my window. Like a ball of light came, and then it appeared even wider, and 3 celestial beings appeared. I thought it was amazing. And then I was terrified because the conditioning, teaching, scared. I remember calling my mom in the room. This happened 5 minutes ago, and it was so many years ago, because I'm only 26, so that's only 20 years ago.
Me too. I'm only 26.
There you go. I think we're the same age. and my mom was there, and I'm pointing to her like, you can't see them. They're right there. And she didn't see anything. But what happened was that when they came in, the energy I felt, that vibration, that resonance, that stayed with me. And still to this day, I know it's them. So I had that as my first experience. And then I had a very close cousin, like a brother. And we were in a car accident. He was driving, we got hit, and he passed away. Again, there was a lot happening there. In the hospital, he was speaking to me. In the cemetery, he spoke to me. I would walk under streetlights in New York, which like every block has 10 streetlights. And as I walked under it with a friend of mine, as soon as I was under it, the light would go off. I'd pass it and go back on again. 10 lights, 10 in a row. Like I had some kind of a magnetic pull to the lights. These were all signs he was giving me. And I was, stubborn, where I didn't really believe in this stuff, even though I could feel spirit. It was more because I was able to feel them for so long and sense them. It kind of scared me. Plus, I come from the Greek Orthodox religion. This is taboo. Don't even speak about it. So whenever I tried to speak about it, I was shut down. So I had a lot of resistance from those around me. Even though my heart knew and I was connected, my mind kept saying, well, listen to them, until finally too many occurrences happened that I started believing. And I was in New Mexico and I had a big awakening process. But I think what happened is I knew I was able to differentiate the truth from the life I was living. And I think it was more about the understanding from my life, my journey. If I was to continue my spiritual purpose, I would lose a lot of people that I love. Family and friends, they don't really speak to me anymore. And I knew that was going to happen because you just know people. And I think that's when my procrastination came, because I didn't want to lose what I was used to. And also I was a successful contractor in New York, and I was making money and I was living a nice life. So I had to let go of the human perfect life to be service to spirit and to remember who I am. So it's challenging, guys, but it's not. We make it challenging. We create a life, an illusion that this is real, and we cling on to it. But you are a soul essence first. You're not human. And that's everybody's journey, is to find that out. So when I found that out, Jennifer, I just kind of went all in, and then it just exploded. Like just shot right up.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me too. And it was like, whoa. It went for me from kind of like hearing it, repeating it, and not having that continuous flow, but I was still, and then now it just like the words just come out. So there is nothing happening before it just comes out. And I'm just like, and that's how like I channel my writing too. So it's the same thing. It's just coming out. But that was a nice progression to get to. But in the beginning, you may hear it, or you may feel like you just want to say something, because the hardest thing I think with students is, you talked about ones who are like wanting too much to be a big shot, but then there's the other half where they're too humble. And they're like, oh, I don't want it to be me. If it's me, it's so wrong. And, they want to be like blacked out to prove that it's not them. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. We may have to progress a little bit, and that's good. That's okay. It's okay if it's a little bit you. Like, we have a spirit, right?
Yeah, of course. And even when I started doing trance and I could feel them, I knew the blend was there. What happens is, this may help some people. Why you receive the word like a script, okay? If you're understanding that they're coming in, your spirit team is coming in as a vibrational frequency, as a flow, as resonance, okay? The wind doesn't have words. So any kind of energy, any kind of flow has no language. We, through our physical life, we understand language, speech patterns, vibrational flows in speech and language, whatever is stored in your subconscious mind. So your spirit team connects to your essence, to your energy. It sneaks into your subconscious field. It scans all your data, all your vocabulary. Like my team uses those really impressive words that I don't always use in speech, or even writes with impressive words that I don't. It's just because of habit in New York and the way I spoke to people. I downplay my speech because those who I hung out with weren't as educated. I didn't want to insult them. So even though I have a college degree and I have a vast vocabulary, I don't always use it. But spirit sure as hell does. They're going to pop in there and get whatever they want, figure out my speech pattern, and they're going to leave a thought in your mind. Okay, that thought for advanced mediums is the key. We're ready. We're gonna speak now. For those starting, take that thought and bring it down, and then speak what you receive. They do that on purpose, intentional, for 3 reasons. The first one is, if you're new, they want to help you trust. So they're going to give you the script. Like they're going to give you the cliff notes. Just say what you receive, and what's happening is you're opening the channel to flow.
Right.
When you're in advanced or intermediate, trance medium, they're giving you the script one more time to show you, to explain to you, stay away from it now. We're taking over from here on. Let us speak, and you focus on what's behind the scenes, the energy, the transmission, and get into deeper state of awareness. When the third reason is when they're utilizing everything and they're storing. This is where the higher self stores. It's also telepathic integration, telepathic messages are going through. So there's a lot more happening behind the scene, which is the third reason why this occurs. And if you're going to go into the somnambulistic trance state, they've been deeper trance state, you don't even realize anything. There's a thought. There's no thoughts at all. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot happening, and that's the beauty of it. That's the connection. And I'm going to repeat it again. It's nothing to do with you or your human mind. Your soul essence is part of the collaborator. So your soul essence already knows what's in that mind and is telling them where to look. Okay? Trust it. It's a beautiful community of souls working together for the highest good, utilizing your physical form as the vessel, which is why you're here in the first place.
I love it. I love it. Okay, a couple more quick questions. We are going to get to a demonstration. Colin was saying we should tag team, but we'll do that on another. We did talk. You must be psychic, Colin, because we talked about doing that at a later date. But this is Niko's Niko's moment. And channeling versus trance speaking. Do you put a differentiation on those two words, or do you kind of lump them together?
I like to split it. I know that people say it's like channeling is in the States and trance mediumship is in the UK, but I like to use it as a barometer where channeling for me is referred to as the light trance state. That's the part I was telling you about. You're receiving the script, the download, you're just taking it and saying what you're receiving. Where trance mediumship is more the deeper trance states, moderate to deeper, where you're not focusing on the script, you're just focusing on spirit, let them speak. So, because also channeling could be automatic writing, could be a form of channeling. Yeah. So anything where your brain hurts are still in the alpha rather than fully in the theta I prefer that as the channeling sections. You see?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yes. Sometimes how I've differentiated a little bit is a lot of people, especially in the States, when they think of channeling, they're thinking a little bit more like when we channel like an interdimensional being, like a star system or something like that. Whereas like in the UK, when we call it trance speaking, they're focused on a guide or a loved one or possibly a Native American, and it's like philosophy, so a little bit of a different thing. But in the end, we're all connecting to spirit. But yeah, I see what you're saying there too. And it's like, but it seems like that's how people's minds work. It's like one seems to be focused kind of like on the mediumship world. And then when we hear the word channeling, it feels very new agey, like, okay, we're going to channel Mother Mary.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know. Somebody asked a question, what's the difference between hypnosis and trance?
Good question.
Now, again, understanding how we shift into the altered state of consciousness is understanding how the brain hertz work. So right now we're in the beta. So our brain hertz work 13.5 hertz and above. Alpha is where people meditate, when people do hypnosis, or mostly every single evidential medium drops their hertz by breathing and relaxing. Now their alpha state is between 13 and 9 or 8.5, say 13.9. Trance is in the theta state where you go even further deeper. So hypnosis doesn't go that far. Hypnosis, your brain hertz don't travel that far. It's more the alpha. At the bottom of alpha, 9, 10, maybe 8.5. Trance mediumship is you drop in the theta, which is from 8.5 to 3.5. And then the delta is sleep, under 3. Now, where is the heart of trance? The nice part where you're in a nice deep state and you're unaware of what's happening, between 3.5 and 5.5. What does that translate to? You're asleep. You wake up. It's a Sunday morning. They're waking you up. Like, just 5 more minutes. Because your brain hertz are coming up from the 3, from delta all the way to alpha. So you're slowly waking up, and you're not going to work. It's a Sunday morning. You want to hang out, so you linger right in that beautiful part of trance, a theta state, 3.5 to 5.5. You hear them, you don't want to come out, that's trance. Or when you're going to go to sleep at night, right before you doze off, that beautiful bliss state that you're in. Again, you're dropping the hertz from beta all the way through theta into delta to sleep. Same thing, before and after you fall asleep, that's trance. So
what if you need like 3 cups of coffee to be awake?
Exactly. You don't want to come out of trance. You're still in the theta. You barely get to the alpha.
I can be just tranced out all morning.
I'm the same way.
God help me. Okay. All right. What about past life regressions? Is that deeper? Is that a deeper hypnosis, or are we still in that same? Because yeah.
Okay. I used to offer past. I used to offer past life regressions before I was even an evidential medium, and that's the same as hypnosis. That stays in the alpha. They dip down to the bottom of alpha. Maybe if they go really deep, they're going to go into the beginning of theta. But your brain hertz never get down to 5.5. They're going to stay between 10 and 7 in that area. And you said something before about past lives and other beings that come in and channel you. The more I travel into these deep trance states, and the more I'm into this, I enter the somnambulistic trance state, which is the deepest one. I'm really traveling to other realities, and I'm there. So I don't really believe anymore of past lives. I think we're all living multiple realities at the same time. So this timeline might be 2025 and I'm in Greece. I might be in another timeline 1225 in Greece. It doesn't make a difference because there are parallel realities all over. And also, who's to say that my reality in 2025 is the only one? It could be broken down into 5 realities, and I have a parallel life in all of them. I might be a Chinese man, an Indian woman, or a native. Who knows what I am?
Yeah,
but it's all
the soul
same.
is. Yeah, the soul is limitless, so it can project itself. I've never could understand how there could be a limited amount of energy to split itself off into, just because the soul is unlimited. We're infinite. So we could be everything at all times, and we can connect to any lifetimes, but there may be some that offer us more understanding for this one too, that they may be particularly connected in a deeper way, that they may help a person in a certain way. But I was curious if it was any deeper than traditional hypnosis. So we were talking about that earlier this week.
I think it's the same thing. Hypnosis and past life, because they're still getting to the hypnotic state. I still believe that that's hovering between alpha and parts of theta, but they don't go as far as trance. Deeper thetas. It's not. They don't know. Because there's a lot of surrender in that. There's a lot of surrender. You're really forgetting about your consciousness. You're just like, you're trusting everything. The mind is always popping in. Even hypnosis, even with past life regressions, their mind is still keeping them teetering above a certain line, so they don't ever go that far down. You know?
Yeah. Thank you.
What I believe past lives are, and then we can move on. I could go hours on this past life gig. When we remember a life, or when they have proof from past life, and but I brought this guy in and he really lived in that time. Again, timelines leave their marks. So the history of 1200 can be read in today in this reality. It doesn't mean we have to crisscross. But also what you're also experiencing is, let's say right now you have 20 parallel lives, each one created by your higher self, each one, every reality and what they want, which also means, guys, you might have a caveman in a parallel life, and you might have 2 galactic beings in a parallel life, because it's not about smarts, it's about frequencies. So you might have a parallel life where the energy is very low, where technology is not as advanced as it is right now, to bring in some kind of a spectrum where this is the lower end of energy and frequency, and the galactic beings on another planet, which is a really high vibrational frequency. So this way, there's an arc to growth based on energy. And your higher self learns through every single one of these lives. But the higher self guides you, and your spirit team guides you, but they won't give the answers. This is where the interconnected of energy, that shared breath between all parallel lives, works in our benefit. view all your parallel versions, and you are the study group. The study group. So your parallel version of a multidimensional being is bringing you wisdom, memories in your sleep state. Another one is bringing you an experience in a parallel life you think is a past life. You could be walking somewhere and feel like I've been there 1,000 times and it's your first time there, but a parallel version of you living there. There's a lot of interconnectedness going on, and you're doing the same. So when you fear, you're projecting that fear across all these parallel realities, like a ripple effect, and then bringing back to you safety, love, encouragement. So then when you awaken, it's our responsibility to keep speaking it in this world, keep doing transmissions or channeling or whatever level is at. Because each one of these, you projecting into this world or bringing the transmission, gets echoed and reflected back to all your parallel versions. That's how we help each other. To keep it and hide it and be a closet medium. I call myself a closet medium for so long. You're not helping the ascension of all your other parallel versions. And I believe that the higher self, once every version has accumulated a certain amount, it retracts all of them. That's why you die at all different ages, and takes them back and starts a new line of parallel versions with new progressions of what to learn and new focuses.
That would help answer Fran's question. That was very cool. I like getting mercurial with you, the meeting of the minds. It's like my brain is so happy right now. But Fran was saying, learning, growing. What's the ultimate goal?
That's it.
Yeah.
The higher self's ascension, the higher self. I mean, what's great about it is that when I used to resist that concept, and I was getting in trance. That was my transmission. They would speak part of it. I got a much more in-depth message about it. And, I'm a guy from New York that used to have a chip on my shoulder. So I'm like, what do you mean this isn't my journey? I did all this. I created all this. I did this business or 3 businesses. I had the sports car. It was the ego. But when you release the ego and you really connect to your essence, you could really view your life through the eyes of the higher self and understand why every single event occurred, every relationship, every painful moment, every time you touch somebody, every time they betrayed you, every time you were sneaky, every single moment you've had reflects the growth of this life for your higher self to learn. So when you view the life in those soft eyes with no ego and just trust and love, you can start understanding as the higher self why you're placing all these other parallel realities, how do they intertwine, help each other, and where's the strength in all of those? And it's mind-boggling. And as a human, we just scratching the surface. We're just like, whoa, dude.
I know, that's what Dolores Cannon would always say, like, this is going to turn your brain into a pretzel, right? And I always liked that. I was like, yes, turn my brain into a pretzel, make me not understand, so I want to understand.
That's right.
So
that's
that's beautiful. So I think it's a good time to start rolling into your demonstration.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I thought of like what we want to look for, because we want to feel the power. We want to notice anything that's going on with you, changes in you. So then the question would be overshadowing versus transfiguration. What we might need to look for in the space, what we might need to feel. And yeah.
Can we first quickly answer Vivian?
Yes, please. Yes.
Why do we call it our higher self, or we're not the higher self that's constantly learning? We are a portion of our higher self. So your higher self is extremely expansive. Like, if you look up at the sky, I said this to one class. I was traveling cross country, and they had some kind of a lightning storm in the clouds. I've never seen it before. I was driving on the highway, and to the left with this massive cloud, massive, huge, and then all this lightning bolts in 3 to 4 different areas. I've never seen that before. That's how I describe the higher self. This huge, massive energy of power, of light, of lightning bolts, of whatever you want to call it, energy. Incredible, massive, which is also connected to a lot of all the other higher selves, right? that cannot possibly enter this body or surround the body or enter this physical realm. It'll knock this whole world on its butt. So a portion of it comes into you or around you. A portion. That's why I say it's the breath of the higher self. Just a portion, one spark, is all it is. But we, as human beings, view ourselves as this huge, powerful presence. And that's where the misinterpretation is. That's where this separation exists in this world. And none of it is true. And when you're in trance, especially, and you feel all that power and that love, you're feeling an extension more than the spark you used to being in this beautiful connection. And that's how you understand it's a lot more than we think it is.
Yeah. Oh, those illusions.
Yeah. So
they're always saying, be careful with the illusions.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So there's some red lights here, little red sparks. They only have a blue light, by the way. So they create the red lights. I don't know how.
Okay. And why do you use a blue light versus a red light? Because a lot of mediums use red lights, but I have heard there's transitioning to blue lights now. I've had other mediums talk about using blue lights too.
A while back, somebody was mentioning about red light and blue lights, and I did hear it, but I wasn't really focusing on it. And I just received a message, get the blue light. I guess it helps them with however they're focusing on technology. For me, my auric field, like we said earlier, is an expansion now. They're going to amend this. They're going to merge with me as an expansion. So what happens if you could envision this? Here's my regular auric field, right? And as they merge, they build layers. So in the beginning, when I first started doing trance, I could feel my eyes constantly fluttering, because that's when they were working on that first layer. Now I have no idea how many are built or created. I don't even feel anything in my eyes. So throughout this, you probably see eyes opening and closing. They're not mine. Mine are closed. But if you look at it, right, mine are more like an oval shape. Theirs is more like half of my eye. So look at my eyes now, and then look at the eyes that show up later. They're not my eyes, which is really, really cool. And then what happens is through that layered, they could change my face. I've had hair. I don't have a goatee. I could
sometimes they bring a beard on you. Yeah, is that where we're getting into full transfiguration, where you're looking very different than?
I have no clue. I don't witness any of it. So I leave it to you guys to tell me what you experience. That's the only thing I get gypped on. I don't see any of that, nor do I feel it. So that's just being a vessel.
We're on live, so that'll help. You can go back and watch it too. But that would be great. That would also be a great job for everybody to pay attention to the power that you're feeling and experiences. And it may make you feel a little sleepy. That's okay. But try to stay focused on the message so you don't miss anything. But you can go back and watch it again. And then look at Niko. Look at his face. See if you see any changes in his facial features. See if you see anything in the space around him as well. We're going to spotlight him and make him nice and big. So that'll make it helpful too. I did see a few other questions in here. So I'm going to try to keep track of those. And if time permits, we can ask Noah is the collective that represents who is speaking with you through you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, looks like you're ready to go. Okay, everybody, here we go.
I was ready for what we started.
I know.
They were already here. They've been nudging like, come on, let's go already.
Okay, beautiful. And then Kelly, love, could we spotlight Niko and Noah? Thank you.
Greetings to you, my dear one.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
My dear, the gratitude is ours. And allow me to say, my dear, this is truly an honor to connect to your beautiful essence, my dear.
Thank you. I feel the same.
And understand, my dear one, remembrance is what this physical journey entails, my dear. For remembrance does not only pave the road to clear understanding of your service to our realm, but the same understanding, my dear, offers much clarity to those difficult experiences lived through. But know, my dear, deep in your heart, each tear shed was wiped with love, my dear. Each one, my dear. You never wept alone. No one in physical form ever journeys alone. Even as you sense our presence near now, my dear, we are once more wiping your tears. Understand, my dear ones, we are assisting many journeys. We are all connected in our realm. Each highest essence is indeed interconnected. And with you, my dear, we are also assisting yours and have been. And you have been aware of our essence, our presence near. Interconnectedness, my dear ones, beyond the capability of your human comprehensions. But trust, your essence remembers, your essence knows. Even the questions which will come forth, your essence already possesses the answers. Once more, my dear, it truly is our honor, and we are grateful for this opportunity. I thank you, my dear one.
We thank you too for your presence and your love and your wisdom and encouragement. Would this be a good time to ask questions?
Indeed, my dear.
Okay. Thank you, Noah. We had a question about higher self versus consciousness versus oversoul.
Oversoul, yes, my dear. Indeed. Each of our highest essences, my dear ones, are interconnected. The realm in which you perceive as an oversoul multidimensional, vast. All, my dear ones, connected as one, all connected to the source. Each one within physical forms, regardless of which reality they are existing, is a projection of their highest essence. So ultimately, my dear ones, even you within this physical form are embodied within this oversoul. And yet, my dear ones, I ask you, how is it pivotal at this progression of your journey to seek more information on this oversoul, as you are experiencing great difficulty navigating this one physical form? Focus, my dear ones, on this singular journey that you are aware of. Develop your ability to remember by connecting to your essence. Notice the illusion of your realm, the many lies which are believed to be the truth, in order to speak your truth by remembering your truth. And allow that process, my dear ones, to unfold the rest of the process along your journey, where much more remembrance returns, much more alignment. But in order for this alignment to strengthen and return, you must first align yourselves. One step at a time, my dear ones, with trust, reverence, and humility. This is how one remembers. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And there's another question along these lines of why we call it our higher self. Are we not our higher self that is constantly learning
Yes, my dear.
as us?
My dear, the reference to the highest essence is the correct terminology, my dear. For you are an essence. And your essence is also in our realm, my dear. This term, higher self, originated in your realm, my dear, confuses many, as that word self is included. Indeed, my dear, your essence is journeying along with your physical form in your physical realm. Indeed. And this essence is also the passageway to our realm, my dear. Your highest essence in our realm, my dear, is created, if I will, by many versions, my dear. So even the understanding of what constitutes your highest essence, my dear, you must first understand that it is many versions of your consciousness, many versions of your physical journeys, many versions of all experiences learned, many versions of all emotions learned and stored. There are many parts, if you will, my dear, of your highest essence. When you are asking this question from solid mass, you are not recognizing, my dear, that even your physical form is created with multiple cells, my dear. So view your highest essence, also created with multiple cells, my dear. And this existence in which you are aware of is but yet one more cell. I thank you, my dear one.
So each of our essences or each of our personalities is like a cell of the greater essence of us.
Indeed, my dear, your essence within this physical journey, my dear, is the actual cell.
Okay.
Easier for you to comprehend.
So my essence is the cell of the soul, the greater.
Your highest essence, my dear, indeed.
So we are a mini essence of the higher essence.
Indeed, my dear. Many projections, if you will.
Yes.
Just as your physical form, my dear, does it not possess multiple cells within in order to make it function?
Indeed, it does.
If you were to remove these cells, there would be no form. So in actuality, my dear, even your physical form is a projection of all the cells within.
Mm-hmm.
So your essence, my dear, is not only the one which is attached to this physical incarnation, but to many. And just as each of you are unaware of even one cell within your physical form, so too are you unaware of the many realities created, the many additional cells, if you will, of your highest essence. Is that clear, my dear?
Yes, but if we may not be aware of all of the cells in our body, but wouldn't the highest essence be aware of each of the essences as they're existing in these forms?
Indeed, my dear. But the question was projected by a cell. It was not a question projected by the highest essence, my dear.
I feel my essence. Yeah.
Indeed, my dear. Now, my dear, share with those who are listening the difficulties of your physical journey, my dear. Although they are viewing you in awe, they are viewing your effortless connection. They are unaware of the similar struggles you have endured as they.
Yeah.
And the more you share, my dear, your vulnerability, the more relatable you become to them. And the more they shall follow you.
Thank you. Thank you. You spoke about projections, and so I have different parts of my essence with different questions too, but you spoke about projections, which leads the more mental part of me to question how much of what we see and experience is real, the illusions. Is any of this actually in existence, or is it a projected holographic reality that the one beautiful mind of it all is creating, the infinite intelligence?
This is why, my dear, intentionally I used the word projection. I was anticipating this question, my dear.
I know you were. For LinkedIn, how lovely.
Projection, my dear ones, just as a projector offers you a film, a cinema, your reality that you are existing in physical form is nothing but a film, a cinematic experience, my dear ones. So as your cinematic projection is not real, It was created by those in your realm for entertainment purposes. And even though a film may offer insight, wisdom, may offer emotions, tears, may offer a beginning, a middle, and an end, a storyline, so too does your realm. But, my dear ones, this realm in which you reside is nothing more than an illusion. For understanding this, my dear, is to remember that fear and pain is not real. And yet, how real and how profound is it within the illusion of your realm? And even as you are watching a masterful cinematic experience, you relate to the pain of the protagonist. You feel their pain. You weep with them. You sense pride within their triumph. As you are the observer of this cinematic experience, so too is your highest essence the observer, as you are experiencing a cinematic experience. Is that clear, my dear one?
Indeed, it is. I understand that completely. Why is the cinematic experience so bizarre sometimes on behalf of us human essences? I know
This
you were
too,
anticipating this one.
my dear, is intentional.
Uh-huh.
For when it becomes more bizarre, as you state, my dear, this is when one is further disassociated, detached of their own essence.
Mm.
It is designed in this manner. Notice, my dear, when those who are so detached and are experiencing this chaotic realm, if you will, struggle the most, fear the most, experience pain the most. And is it not a coincidence, if you will, my dear, that when they are at their lowest point, they also experience a loss? So now they include grief to this equation. All instrumental, my dear, in order for them to remember their own essence. Just as each cinematic experience offers a moment where there is drastic change in the plot, so too is your physical reality, offering the same drastic moment, which allows not only the trajectory of the film to be altered, but also your physical experience, my dear. Life imitates art.
Indeed. I have two parts to that. One is sometimes when you are able to observe the absurdity of it all, it actually helps you detach a little bit from the suffering of it all. But two, I think there's a lot of minds that want to understand why the level of violence and darkness, that kind of darkness, because I know darkness is in itself negative, is to such an extreme that it makes the heart go how, and I just felt like a lot of people could use an answer to that.
Indeed, my dear.
Mm.
First, my dear, allow me to address the first question.
Okay.
Viewing the absurdity of it, as you said, my dear.
Yeah.
This too is intentional, my dear. For the more one is able to view the absurdity of the reality, the more it begins to remember that they are in essence.
Correct.
And as one is able to perceive the absurdity, notice where they are perceiving it from. It is impossible to perceive the absurdity through tears, through pain, through sorrow, through the lens of the physical form. So when one notices the absurdity, the lens of the highest essence is now viewing. And that is how one remembers their essence, my dear.
Yes.
That is when they are able to view this absurdity of this entire physical existence and recognize it as an illusion. Now, though your current timeline, my dear, is experiencing such hatred, pain, brutality, if you will,
Yes.
this is not how it has always been within the same timeline you are experiencing. Nor is it, my dear, a reflection of other dimensions and timelines. So ask yourselves, my dear ones, how easy, how simple has it been for you to believe you are human? How simple do you judge, speak poorly of another? They are not listening. Worry of acceptance, seek status, allow your egos to grow. How easy is it for you to judge another? Notice, even as you are all joined together as essences for this session today, you all still view another differently based on their religion, their creed, and their race. The separation which still exists in your realm is the cause of the destruction. For it's easy to point the finger at another, is it not, my dear? Even as so much focus and conversation pertains to politics, nobody is focusing on the betrayal by not accepting the one who seems different. And yet your timeline was quite different when there was love, acceptance of all humanity, regardless of gender, race, age, creed. When many recall their essence. And yet, my dear, this is why there is this spoken of in your realm, a global awakening, if you will, for your timeline within your reality, my dear, is headed to the destruction of mankind. This is why, my dear, many are assisting. This is why each of your essences have courageously volunteered, asked, willed to be within physical form at this time. For that, we all possess great honor and respect to each of you, even as you have not recognized this bravery within yourselves. It is merely a matter of time. Is this clear, my dear one?
It is. It's very clear. There's a light in everybody.
Indeed, my dear. Your
Even the darkest of the dark.
Your essences are bright lights, my dear. This darkness, is it not also a perception of the illusion of your realm, my dear?
Yes.
And thereby, if one fears financial struggles, if one fears offering love unconditionally, accepting, receiving pain in return, if one fears their own growth, but they value their self-worth poorly, is it not also evident that one fears this perception of darkness? And yet, this also translates to separation, the belief that you are each separate from your essence. For when one remembers they are an essence, my dear, this translates to a bright light.
Yeah.
And as each of you are a bright light, there is no darkness. How can darkness appear when the light is on, my dear? The same with fear. This is why the journey has been and always shall be about remembrance, not about learning. One cannot learn anything new when they are trapped in an illusion. One cannot believe that they will change if they are still subjected to fear of that illusion. One cannot possibly serve our realm if they are still accepting that they are that human form. Once one remembers, my dear, one rekindles, if you will, their connection with their own essence. One views their entire physical existence differently. This is when you each recognize you have been living within a cinematic experience, a dream, an illusion. And that is when your reality changes once more. And perceive, my dear, for a moment, the many awakened ones who are noticing that they have been existing in an illusion. And they too are passing this knowledge to those in your realm. Will it not be merely a matter of time, my dear, when the majority of those in your realm have also awakened to this truth? Will it not also be quite impactful, my dear, when those in your realm receive visitations from those of other realms and other dimensions, also to assist with this global awakening, if you will? So notice there is a purpose, my dear. And
Yes, thank you.
each of you serve a grand role within this purpose. Therefore, you should all honor yourselves with humility, grace, and truly remember your essence.
Thank you. Thank you. I think a lot of us understand it's an illusion, and when we speak those words, it seems to land because it hits the higher essence in the heart. So it lands, but then there's always that other little part of compassion for the suffering, even though you know it's an illusion, because the experience is in itself an experience within the dream.
Indeed, my dear. How? If this was not a realm where an illusion could be created, my dear, how else would it be possible for your highest essence to grow? And the compassion, my dear, is a reflection of who you are. Understand, my dear ones. Your essence possesses love, compassion, generosity, patience. Are any of those qualities rooted in your realm? Notice, my dear ones, when there is hatred in your heart, when you speak cruel words, when you retaliate, when you experience this thing of pain, when you are jealous, when you judge, do all of these not feel foreign to you? Do they not stir an uncomforting feeling within you? Are they not quickly replaced with remorse and shame and guilt? This is how one is able to differentiate their essence to this human identity in order to remember. So what you are experiencing, my dear, the compassion, it is not because you are feeling the other one's pain as a human. You only experience your own pain as a human, my dear. But that is where your growth is. Is that clear, my dear?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. To put a few other minds at ease, because I can I can feel everybody. The pathway to the destruction of mankind, which is being assisted by the many other essences in order to elevate our dreams, so to speak, trying to tie all of this in together and ascend us. Then would you say that people do not have to worry about the destruction of mankind because we are in this period of ascension with the help of many other cosmic friends?
Oh, my dear, allow me to ask you and all who are listening a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Only your human mind worries. Worrying comes from within the illusion. Allow me to ease the tension each of you are experiencing. I ask each of you to recall every cinematic experience you have sat through as the protagonist ever lost. Just as these cinematic experiences offer a happy ending, so too will your reality.
That's beautiful to hear. Thank you. Is it possible to go on just a little further?
Ah, my dear.
Thank you.
Even,
We have.
even,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Forgive me, my dear. Even as the truth is, your realm is an illusion. It is quite beneficial to our realm. For this illusion, the pain of it makes it extremely real.
Correct.
So there are many other dimensions who have also experienced your realm and the illusion and have been beneficial to them as well. So it is not the essences, it is the form, the physical form within your physical realm, which many realms seek to keep intact. And yet, my dear ones, you are forgetting you are also one of those who are to assist. It is your essence which is remembering. which will utilize the strength of being a physical form, relatable, knowledgeable, able to converse with those near you who have not yet remembered their essence. So that there will be much assistance from other realms, my dear ones. The greatest impact occurs within physical form. So though, yes, there is no need to worry, there is also a responsibility to remember. For many of you will be called to step forth and speak your truth once you remember. So when those naysayers, with those in power who are not listening, who wish to destroy, receive wisdom, insight through those in physical form who have awoken, as well as visitations, they will be overmatched, if you will. They will not only be learning from their own, they will be learning through allies. Is this clear, my dear?
I love the word ally. That's a beautiful word. That would be a good word to use more often. It's a beautiful frequency. Yes, thank you. Thank you. There's a question, and I had this experience of understanding myself as not me a few years ago, as you would already know. And even then, it's hard for me sometimes because it does feel so real. That's how real we made it, I believe, from the highest essence. So I don't feel like we should feel too badly if we have a difficult time. But there was also a question of how do we come to realize it's an illusion? How do we get from the believing it's an illusion to the experience of knowing that it's an illusion? Because I mean, like I said, it's even hard for me, and I had that separation of separation. What would you suggest?
By remembering your essences, my dear ones. And how does one truly remember their essence? By forgiving their physical form. Understand, my dear ones, your essence is perfect. Our realm is perfect. Our realm is of unconditional love, as you are. And yet, in order to dissolve within this illusion in your realm, one must enter physical form, imperfect. It is through these imperfections which anchors one into the human experience even more deeply. And the more one experiences doubt, battles with self-esteem, views themselves poorly, they are further along engaged within this human experience where they forget their own essence. Recognize, my dear ones, imperfection is intentional. For if you were not imperfect, if you did not make these perceived mistakes, you'd still be in our realm. Forgive yourselves. This is where many struggle with forgiving themselves, and most importantly, forgiving those who have inflicted pain upon you. This is how one begins to reverse the perception by viewing their realm, their physical experience, through the lens of their highest essence. Forgive those who inflicted pain upon you, my dear ones. For this experience was of honor. They love you deeply. They honor you profoundly as an essence. They agreed to join your journey as another one in physical form to inflict pain for your growth. Is this not an act of honor? Forgive them, my dear ones, in order to forgive yourself. recognize, embrace your imperfections in order to remember your perfect essence. And that is how one loves themselves unconditionally. And when you're able to love yourself unconditionally, only then can you begin to love those in your realm. And this is how one remembers their essence, my dear. Is that clear, my dear?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Do we have time for another question? I want to be mindful of your energy.
My dear. Notice the irony of your question. You are asking
Mindful.
us about time in a realm where there is no time.
You're right. Time is an illusion. That's too funny. Don't get me started on that one. We'll have too much fun all day. We had a question about soulmates across timelines that came up as well, which matches a book that I've been reading, where a well-known progressionist had two simultaneous people was working with, only to come out that they had same experiences in other timelines that they had experienced in other lives, and then ended up coming together in this one, but didn't know each other too. And so a couple of us have questions about that.
Indeed, my dear. As mentioned earlier, you are all the projection of your highest essence. There are many projections occurring simultaneously, other parallel versions, if you will. So as your highest essence is able to create all of these projections, parallel versions, so too are everyone else's highest essences. It is the relationships, if you will, the bonds of love, of respect, of honor between the highest essence and the highest essence that creates these soul families, as you recognize, these soul mates, as you recognize, these soul contracts, as you recognize, through either this one reality you are privy of or the many. So indeed, my dear, it is quite simple to overlap parallel versions, to overlap timelines. It all returns to what the highest essences wish to learn, my dear. Imagine, my dear ones, even those who view themselves as quite intelligent within this physical form, and those who view themselves less than in this physical form. Trust. A projection of your highest essence is a small portion of its intelligence. Imagine for a moment, my dear ones, you afforded the task of creating multiple verses, multiple relationships, multiple expressions, multiple journeys, multiple lessons, making certain that you not only received the lesson you intended to, but that you also provided a lesson for the other. This is a matrix, my dear ones. Quite intelligent.
Indeed.
Many pieces to a moving puzzle, if you will. So to ask intricate questions is honorable, for you are allowing your conscious mind to expand. But even if we offer elaborate answers, my dear ones, the comprehension within one physical form is not possible. Now, continue your journeys Focus on this particular form of communication, my dear ones, and allow this consciousness to expand. And that is how these many questions you ask, you will notice you already possess the answer. For this form of communication, my dear ones, occurs within this vastness, within this elaborate scheme, architected by your highest essence, within the interconnectedness of all. So what better avenue to pursue than the one that enters our realm, passes through multiple thresholds and portals simultaneously? And then, my dear ones, I offer you this question, which I'm echoing from earlier. Why fear? I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Would we all understand in its highest, knowing that love is all that is real?
Indeed,
when we wipe away all of the illusions.
My dear, notice how even within this physical experience, is love not effortless? Is it not the most rewarding? Is it not the first emotion each of you experienced when that form entered this physical realm? And my dear, it will be the last emotion each of you feel when this physical existence ceases. So if love is the beginning and the end, if you will, if love is the most effortless and most rewarding, and love is the most sought after by each of you within your realm, how is love not your essence? Something to ponder.
Yeah. There was a question about why do we seek love outside of ourselves?
My dear.
Yeah.
That is where the mention earlier of forgiving oneself and loving oneself is vital. For one is not capable through pain to remember how to forgive, and thereby one has difficulty loving themselves. So as that part of you, my dear, who is physical, it is easier to seek it externally than to find it within. Your essence, my dear, longs for that unconditional love and is continuously seeking it in your realm. But notice the irony, my dear. In your realm, one is taught to offer love with conditions. And yet your essence only knows how to love unconditionally, requiring nothing in return. Hence the parallel, hence the struggle. Hence why so many are still seeking this love of that perfect soulmate, as they say. And yet, they find it difficult to truly love themselves. But as each of you truly remember your essence, truly connect to the essences that are assisting you, and you are experiencing this unconditional love, like a beautiful, warm blanket wrapped around you. One does not seek to receive it in your realm as desperately as they have done so. For one remembers love is eternal. Physical journeys are not. Trust, my dear ones, if you have not found that you are seeking this unconditional, perfect soulmate, I assure you, you are experiencing that perfect, unconditional, soulmate level of love in many other parallel versions. I thank you, my dear.
Thank you, Noah. We are all beautiful and perfect, just as we are.
Indeed. Indeed, you all are. And perhaps that is the journey to remember that.
Thank you so much for your timeless time and your love and guidance here today. We are very grateful and honored to share this loving space with you.
My dear ones, it is my honor, and I am grateful. And allow me to leave you all with one final question. Your perception is that these are our words, our guidance. How are you certain these are not the messages from each of your highest essences, echoing through this chamber, this vessel, in order for each of you to hear what you are not listening to? And with that, my dear ones, once more, we offer our gratitude, our honor, and respect for your bravery and our love.
Thank you.
I thank you, my dear
We
ones.
return the love.
Really quick, there's this mother in spirit. She's coming, something with an E, Edith, something. She's really proud. A lot of love, proud. She always knew you could do it. Always believed in you and you to believe in yourself. That's a very quick message. Remember your struggles. Remember when you didn't believe in yourself. Remember how others were impatient with you. Remember how that made you feel even worse. So honor where you've come, how far you've come. And always remember those difficult battles, because each one who comes before you is experiencing those same battles. So always be as loving, compassionate, and generous as you are, so they don't ever have to feel what you experienced, the sharpness, the dismissiveness of others when you needed comfort the most. That's love. that's what you possess. I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
Now I have to come back, don't I?
You're coming back into a lot of love and gratitude, so it should be an easier transition for you.
I don't want to come back. I want to stay here another hour. A lot of energy.
Well, we'll have to do this again then. Yeah, that was beautiful. There are some lovely moments. Kelly, could we be matching pictures? Pretty please, my beautiful angel. We were talking about questions about soulmates, and just as Noah was starting that, Vivian noticed like that was right at 111, and on her page there was 11 people watching, and then right when Noah finished the totality of all the questions, it was 2:22 on my clock, and then you gave that quick message for somebody's mother, and I was just like, well, good stuff. So just to have those extra little bits of magic.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I knew I could sense there was another presence just right here. Like I'm coming back to the finish line, and I can sense we're passing the guards. My team is here. I'm coming back, but there's one essence right here, and I knew it was a mother. I really couldn't catch the name because I was trying to get back. I'm like, we're out of time. I gotta get back. They're gonna kick me out pretty soon. So that's where the human mind popped in. And my team just like kind of came all around, just like let go, let go, let go, and then I just let go, and and then I don't know what she said. I don't. She just spoke to me. I don't know what she said.
I think she said Enos or something like that with the name as a mother for somebody here. So hopefully somebody can take this mother.
That's what I remember. I couldn't catch. Yeah.
Yeah. And the message was so loving. It was I don't remember all of it. But it was a very loving message about, remember your struggles. And so no one else has to feel this kind of pain as well. And that's love, it was just so beautifully compassionate. Yeah. Yeah. Vivian thinks it might be from her mother. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. If I was doing an evidential session first, and I put in that mother, I would have probably got the name and stay with them a little bit more. And then, but I that just popped in, and I tried to kind of say what it was, but I'm just like, let me get out of the way.
Yeah. When it's needed, it's needed.
The broken spoke in the tire. Yeah, you just trust them.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. We're just a vessel. It might have spoke to more than one person.
It looks like
it was meant for everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is nice. That was
Edith.
Yeah, I heard that's the name I heard. Edith. Isn't that what I said? That's it.
That
Edith.
is. You
Edith.
did the name.
Yes.
I thought you said Enos or Edith.
I said Edith.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Cool.
All of our hearts are full.
Whoever else said they could take it. Mine too, guys. It was so much fun. Great energy. Thank you.
Oh, I'm soaking in it. I'm just like, I can't wait to have you back again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. That was a lot of fun. I was lost. I don't even know where I was this time, but it was great.
The good kind of lost. Yeah.
I saw some clips of the future. Those are really interesting. Very cool.
Oh,
but it's all good.
Clips. I hope. Yeah. Noah is awesome. Noah is a collection of three communicators. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I
And
wrote about
and
that,
so
and that I wrote about that in my
right in
I wrote
your
about it in my
Trance
book.
Mediumship book.
I know who they are. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know who they are. They told me who they are, and then they told me that they want to go through by one name because they don't want people to focus on their identity. They don't want them to focus on the messenger. They want them to focus on the message. And they
Yeah,
taught me how to
exactly.
be humble as well. And they're like, if we're not going to, something I'm paraphrasing, if we're not going to mention who we are, you don't have to mention who you are. You're just a vessel. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
we share the same humility. That's
Yeah.
why if
Yeah.
I don't like those intros and
We're
all
just,
that stuff,
I know, we're
it's not
just,
me.
we're channeling love. It's easy just to say, like, we're just speaking for
Yeah.
love. Love itself. That's what I like to say a lot of times. People are like, what's the name? And I'm like, it's just love. It's just love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel the presence around you? Did you feel the energy around you?
It's just beautiful, just beautiful, just beautiful. But what I was getting to was you were talking about glimpses of the future, because at one point Noah was saying, like, this time light is headed for the destruction of humanity, and I could feel little people going, ooh! And so we got some reassurance later that we are ascending and everything will be just fine. So
yeah.
So when you're like, oh, I got glimpses of the future, I'm like, well, that's good news that there's a future. But it was beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So that was a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful. I feel like it's no mistake that this got scheduled today. Like, we had that full moon yesterday. And the energies are so strong, and there's just so much shift right now. And so this morning I was like, I knew that's why it happened today. That's why this day happened with you, and Noah and everybody here today. So with all of our gratitude, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It was an honor, guys.
You.
I didn't do anything, but it was an honor. I love being in the energy. It was great. I enjoyed the conversation before. That was fun. Good discussions. I enjoyed that. That's why I like to vibe, talk about this stuff. Then I just step aside and just bring them in, and I just feel the love and the gratitude and the affection, and it's just like, okay, next step. We got more to do. I'm like, oh, guys, I'm tired. No, we have more to do.
Oh, I know it's quite late there. Oh, you're past midnight now. Goodness gracious.
No,
I don't.
No. I mean, not now. I mean, my journey.
Yes.
That's what I mean. They're like,
you have a lot more to do.
Month, next year, the following 10 years. Yeah, not now. I'm wired now. I'll be up for the next 2 hours.
I'm LinkedIn, and you have a lot more to do. Yeah, I know. It's like they're not. Big G is not releasing you anytime soon. Sorry.
Right.
But you have it's a beautiful future you have. You're going to meet so many wonderful people and experience so many more new adventures coming your way. So you're in exactly the right place.
Yeah.
You're in a little seashell on the beach that's just waiting to be discovered by everybody.
Yeah.
So
I've already met so many beautiful people, and I'm very humbled by it. Yeah. Another one. I'm talking to right now. Another beautiful soul. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you.
And Kelly's doing great.
Yeah.
You're beautiful souls. It's great to just.
We're all growing together. We're all seashells on the beach, and we're like looking at each other, going, "Ooh, isn't that one pretty? Isn't that one pretty? Isn't So we're all like laying on the beach of seashells. Can you tell I love the beach?
And I'm always I'm always picking up little rocks, and you're picking up seashells. Isn't that something on the beach?
There we go.
Maybe that's a spiritual thing.
I think it is. I think it is indeed. I know Kelly's put the name of your book, and we put the link up so people can go onto Amazon, and they can purchase it along with your other 2 books, because it's part of a trilogy. So there's the Magic 3 again, too, and read about all of this and get to know even more. So please, everybody, please check Niko out. And again, we've got your website, and you teach a bunch of classes. He's on Facebook at Niko Medium. You can't miss him. He's everywhere these days. He's on fire. Niko is on fire. And you can always go back and check the posting because all of the links are there in the advertisement posting on all of our pages too. So you can find him. And there we go. Any last words you, Niko, would like to leave all of us here today, if you please?
As I said earlier, guys, this would be the only advice I do offer people from my experience. Sometimes our life is not what it's supposed to be. You know, we might think it is. We might think it's perfect, but sometimes that's just the life that we created. There's another purpose. And don't fear change, because you'd be extremely surprised what the other road holds for you. And it's amazing.
Yeah. Don't fear change.
That's it.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Right.
Don't fear change. Change is what gives birth to all the beautiful things coming to you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Niko. God bless you.
And don't fear trance.
Don't fear trance. Trance can only enhance.
Never.
Dance the trance, trance the dance. Trance is indeed a dance. We know it. You know what I mean, Niko. Once you go down the rabbit hole, you never come out. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today and staying with us up until the end. Thank you to our beautiful producer, Kelly Brickle. Please stay tuned for Spiritually Imperfect at 5 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. in the UK. Messages from the Enchanted Realm with Fran and Shannon and myself tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, midnight in the UK. Fairies and angels and dragons, oh my, and loved ones, don't worry. And on Sunday, our Sunday spiritual service, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK, with our guest medium, Tracy Peffer, mediumship, inspiration, love, healing, music, and poetry. So please join us for all of that this coming weekend. You won't be sorry, for sure. And with that, may all of this incredible love and healing that we have participated in, contributed to, and created here today, all together, with the help of Spirit and Noah, thank you, be infinitely multiplied and bathed across our planet so that each and every form of consciousness feels loved, seen, heard, and held oh so tightly in the ever presence of the infinite great Spirit. We ask for food and shelter and safety and peace for each and everybody, and may peace be with us all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Live well, love you well, and walk each step with grace. We will see you next Friday on Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network, and have a beautiful and wonderful summer weekend, everybody. Thank you. And thank you, Niko. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.